Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation brought to you by the New York University's Office of Financial Education. Today's presentation is called Credit Reports, Scores, and Cards. I will be your facilitator today. My name is Solomon Smith. I'm a Student Success Specialist at the Office of Student Success, and my pronouns are he, him, his. So without further ado, let's begin. In this workshop, we will show you how credit works, where to obtain your credit report, and what information your credit score is based on. With the information you learn, you will understand how to build your credit as a student and ways to improve your financial wellness. Our mission is to instill quality financial education to empower prospective and current students to make responsible decisions that contribute to their overall success. New York University Financial Education's core philosophy entails 6 components: planning, earning, saving and investing, protecting, spending, and borrowing. From creating a strategy to developing a plan for financial security to managing the money you've earned or credited, we aim to empower you to make proactive fiscal decisions to build a strong financial future. Knowledge and skill development in these content areas, coupled with planning and practice over time, will empower you to make proactive fiscal decisions to build a strong financial future. Our agenda today, so first we'll go over what is credit. Secondly, we'll talk about credit reports. Third, we will discuss credit scores. Fourth, we'll go over identity theft. 5, we'll talk about some resources, go over resources, and provide you with some additional information. What is credit? So credit is the benefit of borrowing or using money today that you will need to pay back later on. You can use it to buy goods and services. And it's important to remember that having credit, having a credit card, taking out any type of loan, it is both a privilege and a responsibility. Credit versus debit. Credit is loan money from the bank of a lending institution. You are billed monthly by the lending institution. With the bill, try to pay it in full every month, or at the very least, pay the minimum required because interest accrue monthly. Debit. This is your spending money that you've already earned that's in your bank account. Money spent is automatically deducted from your bank account. It provides an alternative payment method to cash, no interest rates are charged, and some banks even have overdraft protection, which helps you to avoid any unnecessary fees in the event that you don't have the amount of money in your bank account that you're trying to purchase to cover the item that you're trying to purchase. Types of credit. So you have secured. This is credit that is backed by some type of item, also known as collateral. If you don't pay back the loan, the bank can take items that you own in your possession, collateral, like a car or a home. The lender can then resell the collateral to get the money back of the loan. However, when you pay back the credit or the loan, the assets such as the mortgage or the car becomes yours. If you have a history of poor credit, a common use for secured credits are secured credit cards, which is when you pay the cash upfront. So if you were to take out a secured card, you pay $500 upfront, your new credit limit will be $500 on that credit card, for example. Unsecured. So this is the promise to repay, such as an education loan, revolving credit card, or personal loan. You're promising that you will pay back the money that you've borrowed. If you do not pay, or if you're unable to pay, the creditor cannot come and simply take your belongings. They must seek to attempt to collect first. Credit cards, pros and cons. Pros of credit cards, they help you establish credit. They provide funds in case of emergencies, immediate cash availability, online purchasing power, additional perks such as travel miles, and cash back on specific purchases such as gas or groceries. Cons, it can have a negative impact on your credit score with excessive use. There's a potential for high debt accumulation. High interest rates could also be a factor depending on your credit score. And it can become a habit because of this idea that you have resources available to you that you technically don't actually have. Next, we're going to discuss credit reports. Your credit report shows how well you manage your financial responsibilities during a specific period of time. It is your financial resume. Positive information can remain on your report indefinitely, while negative information remains on your report for 7 years, unless there's a bankruptcy. If there is a bankruptcy, that bankruptcy will remain on your report for 10 years. There are 3 major credit agencies. Each prepares their own report on you individually. Information that's on your credit report, your personal information. So personal information, including your name, your address, your driver's license, your date of birth, employer, telephone number, type of resident that you reside. Credit information, this information is on accounts in good standing, your dates open, type of credit it is, so if it's revolving or if it's installment, monthly payment, responsibilities of repayment, such as a co-signer, an individual, or if it was open as a joint account, your credit limit, it shows any high balances, current balances, and your most recent payments. Public record information, requests from your credit history, who has looked at your credit report. This indicates what credit you are applying for. Public records, they can come from courthouses across the country, and it can include anything that's been known or available to the public. Again, your inquiries, requests for your credit history. So if you've applied for a credit card, the credit agency, the Discover or Bank of America or Chase, they'll look at, they'll look at your credit report. They'll request your credit report from the credit agencies, and these inquiries, these requests are known as inquiries. And statements of dispute. So contact information for your credit agency. When you get your credit report, just make sure it's accurate. If it's not accurate, you are allowed to submit something called a statement of dispute to dispute anything that might appear on your credit report that you potentially did not do. Free annual credit reports. So typically 1 credit report a year is offered to each individual. 1 additional free report if you're unemployed and plan to apply for employment in the next 60 days. If you're on public assistance, if you're a victim of identity theft, or if there's inaccurate information resulting from fraud. You can request your free annual credit reports with each of the 3 agencies. You can also visit www.annualcreditreport.com. You will need to provide your name, address, social security number, and date of birth. The 3, again, going back, the 3 credit agencies that handle your credit report: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Credit scores. So your credit score is a forecast of how well you will repay a debt as agreed during the next 24 months. The higher the score, the better the score. The better the forecast that you will repay. Snapshot of your credit history at a particular point in time. So it's providing an up-to-date, most recent snapshot of all of your credit information. It only includes factors related to your individual credit, and it is always changing. Your credit scores are fluid, so they are recalculated again regularly. Once again, credit scoring is a rating of how risky of a borrower that you are. The higher the score, the less risk you pose to creditors. Credit scores. More than 70% of the top 100 financial institutions are using FICO scoring to make billions of credit decisions annually because it is it's the fastest, most consistent, objective, according to them, cost effective for them, and reliable because it's updated regularly. Information that's not included, your race, your color, religion, national origin, age, sex, marital status, employment history, your occupation, your salary, where you live, and non-credit inquiries. The benefits of good credit increases the likelihood that you will receive credit when you need it, or when you want it, but mostly when you need it. Having good credit will also help you get the best deal, the most favorable interest rate and offers terms when you need to borrow. Today, it is very hard to operate successfully without credit. People with poor credit have difficulty getting car loans, renting an apartment, arranging for utilities, and financing their own education. Information including in the scoring of your credit score, your FICO score. So 30% is looking at the amount that you owe, which is how much you've used your card. So 30% owed. They say that if you, for example, if your credit score is 1,000 at 1,000, your credit line is at 1,000. I'm sorry, you shouldn't spend more than 300 of that. That is 30% utilization of your credit line. New credit, so if you've opened any new credit and the length and duration of your credit history, those two things account for 25% of your credit scores. 10% credit mix. The credit mix is looking to see if it's like a student loan, a private loan, versus just a typical credit card. And 35% of your score is calculated by your payment history. So if you paid on time, if you've had any late payments, etc. FICO scores, grading, and range. So here it is for you. Excellent is 780, between 780 and 850. You get the best interest rates. 720 to 779, above average to very good. You usually qualify for better interest rates. The lower your score, the higher the interest rates, the more that you'll have to repay on the amount that you've borrowed. How to establish good credit? Again, pay your bills on time, keep your debt reasonable, understand the basics, know the terms and conditions of all of your credit, review your credit history at least once a year. Identity theft. Identity theft is the deliberate assumption of another person's identity. This is accomplished by unauthorized use of personal information such as date of birth, mother's maiden name, and social security number. The theft of identity is usually to gain access to their credit and commit fraud. Unfortunately, it's often committed by people we know, such as friends, family members, and coworkers. To prevent identity theft, it's important to protect your personal information. If you've become a victim of identity theft, it usually takes about 3 years on average to correct your credit report. You can follow these simple rules to protect your personal information, such as checking your financial statements promptly, review your credit report at least once a year, be careful about sharing any personal information, say no to countless offers that you receive from credit cards, also shred and destroy your mail, particularly bills and banking information, and be aware of strange ATMs. Remember to retrieve your receipt, and watch for shoulder surfing. People typically try to look over to see your PIN, so just be mindful of that when you are at an ATM. Steps to take if you are a victim. 1, place fraud alert with credit bureaus. 2, file a police report. 3, start your own research. And 4, file identity theft affidavit. If you have become a victim of identity theft, you must take action immediately. Contact the fraud departments of all three of the major credit bureaus. Report that your identity has been stolen and ask to have a fraud alert placed on your file and that no new credit be granted without your approval. Do your research. Contact each company where you may have been a victim, speak to their security or fraud department, and explain what happened. Review your account for any incorrect changes or change of address. If you find that something is wrong, you may need to close the account. File a police report, alert the police where the identity theft took place. Get copies of the report for the bank, credit card companies, or others that are requesting proof of the crime. Contact your local office of the Postal Inspection Services if you suspect that identity theft has submitted a change of address form on your behalf. File a theft affidavit with the Federal Trade Commission. Contact the Social Security Administration office with any fraudulent use of your Social Security number. Contact the IRS on the tax fraud hotline to report if you suspect someone stole your identity and used your Social Security number for employment purposes, or could use your SSN to file a tax return. And document everything. Keep notes of all conversations, names, titles, phone extensions, dates, and times. Keep notes and documents in a central file. Track the time that you spend documenting the information and lost hours from work. If the perpetrator is caught, you can be reimbursed for the time that you've used to resolve this situation. Last but not least, resources. At New York University, we offer everything for financial education on our platform called iGrad. You just log into your NYU homepage. You can search for iGrad in the search bar, and it will take you to into the platform with the resources. Here there are specific articles, videos, and quick tips to go over just anything related to credit scoring, student loan repayment, and student loan borrowing. What's the point? Managing money is simply about dollars and cents. It involves setting goals, evaluating choices, and commitment. Like most things in life, your unique personality and behaviors are an important piece. At some point, you need to step back and discover the why behind your financial decision-making and your resources. By understanding your resources and your finances, you will be able to make better decisions surrounding your money. You can understand your credit and what affects your credit score and take steps to adjust in a positive direction and prepare for a long lifetime of positive fiscal choices. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact either Natasha Bean, who is the financial education coordinator, or myself, Solomon Smith. I'm a student success specialist. We can be reached at financial.education@nyu.edu. I always encourage students and alumni or anyone viewing this video to follow us at NYU Financial Ed on Instagram, on Twitter, NYU Financial Ed, and on Facebook, NYU Financial Education. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you have any questions, you can shoot us an email at financial.ed@nyu.edu. If not, have a great one.